Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is about to get its biggest update ever. Patch 1.2 is coming in just a few days. Warhorse just revealed that the massive update is dropping on March 13th. And since we last talked about this update actually got even larger. Now it'll include official mod tools and Steam Workshop support for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but also 1,000 fixes and even this new barber feature. This initial post sharing the patch release date didn't have much in the way of new details, but I got the details. Over the last week, Warhorse has done several interviews, giving a ton of clarity around what mod support will entail, what this patch will include, and potentially even what's next after Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, as it really sounds like some of those conversations might be going on internally right now. But in just a few days, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is getting mod support, and this should be pretty seamless. In past interviews, we heard how this release will include both official mod tools, some of the same tools that Warhorse literally used to make this game, but also Steam Workshop support, which is a pretty big deal for a lot of you. Mods for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 will be PC only. This was explicitly confirmed in a recent interview. And it sounds like they have no plans to bring mods to console. It's not like enough asking will get us here. But even further, with Day 1 Steam Workshop integration, I really just have to imagine Steam will be the best place to mod this game, although it also was just revealed that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is coming to GOG later this month. But if right now you're not playing with a Steam copy, you might increasingly want one of those as time goes on. But of course, the big question is, what will modders be able to do to this game? And in a recent interview with Tech4Gamers, PR lead Sir Toby answered this. We'll start slow and see where everything goes. Modders can already work on the game, but new quests, for instance, are not possible yet. And to be clear here, Toby is talking about the mods out already. On Nexus right now, you could find a bunch of simpler Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 mods, but these new tools will open up new avenues, such as fully custom quests being possible to implement into the game. Although I did find this exchange interesting. The interviewer originally asked about an Elder Scrolls level of moddability for this game, and while that isn't confirmed, it also didn't just get a hard no. And Sir Toby does say, we'll start slow and see where everything goes. The fact that more could potentially come down the line is super interesting to me. To me, it sounds like if this initial release of mod tools is big enough, we could see even expanded mod support down the line. And the fact that we are getting these tools just a bit over a month after release does bode super well for the modding scene exploding. In a later response, they mentioned how mods can help with longevity of the game. I think that is a value add they are curious about right here. Does good mod support lead to a larger audience over a longer period of time for KCD2? And while yeah, this game getting mod support so soon after release is incredibly exciting, I would also temper your expectations for this week. Mod tools seem like they're just only debuting. Doesn't sound like modders have had behind closed doors access to these tools for months now. So some of the truly epic mods will likely take months to potentially even years to release. And even the devs themselves have remarked that these tools can be hard to use. It'll be a bit before we start seeing those fully custom quests added into the game. But of course, that isn't all. Mod support is really just one aspect of an otherwise massive patch 1.2. From the past dev stream, we learned that patch 1.2 will include 1,000 fixes total after 5 months of dev time, and more on that bizarre timeline in a moment. Some performance optimization, so worse performing areas of the map should get an FPS boost. Halberds are set to get some buffs, along with stealth items getting balance changes, and you'll even be able to change your facial hair or head hair at a barber. But obviously a lot more on top of all of that. This patch is unique in that it'll have 5 months of dev time, and in a recent interview with Sexy Biscuit, Sir Toby expanded on this fact quite a bit. I'll have a full link to the interview below. It was truly a great one, and there even are several other tidbits from that interview that I'm not including in this video, so make sure to check it out. But Warhorse basically describes how they had to be very strict on what was going into the game close to release because every change, fix, or otherwise could break something somewhere in the game. So about 5 months ago, they chose to branch off a build of the game to get away from the hyper strict QA and work more freely on that build. That's basically what we're getting now with patch 1.2. Months of effort from this dev team. And this one will feature 34 pages of patch notes. And importantly, this will be some very well formatted patch notes. You'll be able to find each quest and then under that details on what exactly was fixed or changed around that quest. So even regular users can easily see if bugs that they're facing in their current save were patched out with this update. This will be KCD2's biggest patch ever, but it sounds like it'll mostly be bug fixing. So I wouldn't expect much more than that outside of the barber mode and some minor balance changes to just a couple of items. But that's not to say that more about this game won't be changing, as it does sound like a lot of community feedback and further balance changes could be coming in later patches, as Warhorse is doing something pretty cool right now.
What we are doing right now in this month, or what we did this month, and we created a Teams chat that is called Community Grievances, which I like a lot. So we were collecting feedback from streamers, content creators, fans, communities, reviews, Steam reviews, and so on. And of course, the obvious bugs are, that is something that needs to be fixed, but also kind of nice to have feedback things were collected. And right now we are internally putting a list together with as of right now it has 10 points, and we are trying to think about it. That's why all these huge, bigger changes need to be well considered, because this affects something in the planning somewhere else. So a photo mode, for instance, right? That is something that we are talking about. So the photo mode that is in game is okay, but it's super basic. But for instance, if we change the photo mode, then I, as part of the market team, can say, hey, that's a great feature, because if we do that, I can use that and lure in more people to play the game, because I can talk about the photo mode and whatnot. Rain, for instance, right? The rain is a cosmetic thing. Some people don't like it because it doesn't look nice, but on the other hand, it's yeah, it's annoying, but is it making the game better? Is this somehow,
To me, this really sounds like the first update will focus on fixing tons of bugs, but the next one, and really the updates going forward, will have some of these larger feature change-ups that people are requesting right now. So get ready, because this week, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is getting a massive update, and this really is just the start of something. About a month after patch 1.2, in mid-April, the next update is expected. As of right now, all we really know about that one is they're targeting mid-April, it's going to include the hardcore mode, but based off some of these recent interview quotes, it certainly sounds like more could be included in this next update by then. And a pretty cool note about the quality assurance team at Warhorse, they do have direct access to the support email, so they can see what kind of bugs or issues users are reporting and then more quickly adapt to them. So overall, while we don't exactly know what future updates will include as far as some of the general changes to the game, it kind of seems like Warhorse doesn't know right now either. And instead, they're spending a ton of time listening to the community and trying to formulate a plan on what to do next. During this interview, Sir Toby describes how Warhorse wants to show people they genuinely care. They aren't just a studio who's going to drop the game and move on. But through some of these recent interviews, we have also been getting some questions and answers about what is next for Warhorse and potentially Kingdom Come Deliverance. In his interview with Sexy Biscuit, Sir Toby makes it clear that they are not planning to go back to Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 in any form or shape. Things like next-gen updates or remasters are truly off the table for that title. The one exception mentioned was if they were being asked to do a Switch port or something minor along those lines. And we do hear how, right now, all 250 devs at Warhorse are currently working on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 updates or DLC, but they want to be doing more going forward.
And after that, our ambition is to grow further, so become a studio of 300 heads and more, and maybe in the future also work on several titles at once, not only be a one-trick pony. But that is all future stuff. And we want to, for us in an ideal world, by the end of the year, we kind of leave KCD2 and focus completely on new stuff.
This has been mentioned in a few interviews now, and honestly, I get it. Warhorse are devoting all of their resources in 2025 to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, but from January 1st, they want to do something else and potentially even multiple things at once. But of course, that next question is, well, what's next then?
I don't know, really. I think we established ourselves as being good RPG guys, and I don't think that we will go somewhere else, that we will start to do racing games all of a sudden. I think KCD is a strong and great IP. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it would be a shame to stop and leave it behind. On the other hand, this can happen. We can do something else, like create a new IP. As I said, we want to do several games anyway. So also CD Projekt had The Witcher, but at some point they said, let's try something futuristic, and it was a hit. So I think CD Projekt is a bit of a role model in that sense when it comes to how they spread themselves out, and what I think it's very interesting what they did, and I can imagine that we would like to go a similar way somehow. Not saying that we're doing something futuristic, but having these different types. And they're both relatively similar. Of course, the one is more like a GTA style, the other one is like a deeper RPG, but they're still kind of relatively close to each other. So
my take on all this is Warhorse isn't super sure right now. 2025 is likely the year to finish stuff with KCD2, but also internally figure out what they want to be doing next. But we do have some big clues. I think the talks here make it seem clear that Kingdom Come Deliverance 3 will likely happen at some point. They have a lot of incentive to do that financially. But in this interview, Sir Toby also make it clear that at the end of the day, Daniel Vavra, the creative director at Warhorse, is really going to be the person who will actually pick this next game if they do a new IP. So what does he think about all of this?
Let's just say that I'm very interested in early 9th, 10th century Europe. where it was partially still pagan. Christianity was taken over. Vikings started to appear, and not many people know much about it, except Vikings. There are not many books, well, books maybe, but movies or TV series about different regions. It would be awesome to make something about this, for example.
I don't think this is an outright confirmation of anything one way or another, but it seems like this is the current frontrunner for what that new IP from Warhorse could be. And at least for me, I would love it if they made that game. But overall, that is where things currently stand with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. A lot is happening with this game. Patch 1.2 is mere days away now, but it really feels like that will only kick things off. With this, we get a giant update, barber mode, but also mod tools, which will probably be a steady flow of content until that mid-April patch and even beyond that. And then shortly after the mid-April patch, we're starting to get some of the first paid DLCs and more. I plan to cover all of this, so get subscribed for that content, including what I imagine is going to be a massive video breaking down all of the changes from patch 1.2.
Show what you're made of.